Hello, adventurer. It's good to see you. You have made it to the morning grind.
Welcome, welcome.
It's the live stream at the beginning of the Geekverse, where we talk about all types of topics in geekdom, gaming, and fantasy, with an emphasis on being constructive and creating the things that we want to exist in the world.
It's all in the grind, Sizemore. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
That's exactly right. There are a lot of adventures to be had today. Dungeons to explore and monsters to slay, and who knows what a random encounter might send our way. That's why we have to prepare, so settle in now for the morning grind with your favorite beverage in hand.
Tea? Or maybe something a little stronger. I've got a few bottles of the old Wynyard left.
Whatever you want. Pull up a chair.
Dude.
If you're feeling fancy, how about a cappuccino? Or a frappuccino? Or how about an espresso?
Just tea, thank you.
Sounds good to me, Gandalf. Whatever you want. I'm just glad you're here.
Everyone is welcome. You can just watch if you want. You don't have to worship anything you don't want to worship.
Thank you, Mike. But be forewarned.
Sometimes we get really strange characters around here.
Wait, what's that you say? Why can't you come and be a part of the stream?
My wife would disown me.
Oh no, I bet she'll be fine with it. Come on in.
Am I scared for my safety? No.
What are we supposed to do?
Everybody do the secret handshake.
Secret cultist handshake.
Oh, now do wizards who love each other.
This, my friend, is a science.
I still don't have gifts, but it's fine.
It's all in the grind, son. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
Dude, this would be a sick place to bring the band.
Indeed it would be, Dave. It really would. I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome, glad to have you here. Oh look, here's someone new.
Is this the cultist meetup?
Yes it is.
Come to hang out? Please accept me. I have nothing else.
Okay, we accept you. Everyone's welcome here.
Brought some snacks.
Well, that makes things even better.
You want some coffee? I don't drink coffee. You sure?
It's cultist coffee.
What makes it cultist coffee?
I'm a cultist and I'm drinking it.
Oh. Then I'll have some.
What exactly is going on here?
I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome. It's so great to have you. Oh, and look, here comes another stranger.
Can we help you?
Yes, fellow cultists. I could really use some food.
Oh yeah? Welcome. We have donuts.
Oh, it's me. I'm glad I'm here. I'm sure you have a few questions for me, though.
What's your name? Who do you work for? What god do you worship?
Great questions, Rob.
I'm Steve King, and I worship Nyarlathotep.
No, not really. I'm just Heath, and I won't be worshiping anything this morning. But I will be your host. Welcome to the office. We're going to have a great time. I've got my coffee ready, because now it's time for the morning grind.
If you could become a fish, that would be amazing. Then I could command you with my mental fish powers.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to the morning grind. Welcome to my home. Welcome to the office. I hope you are having a great weekend. I am really looking forward to being productive today and tomorrow. Of course, I won't be. I'll be here at the office today and tomorrow, and well, there's things to get done. So I hope everybody is doing well. I hope everybody's doing well, staying warm. I hope as well. It's going to be cold over here where I am again, down here in the south. But I went out and I picked up half a liter of kerosene, so I am ready. I can just be here in the office and stay toasty. So, all right, let's see. Good morning, PH. Good morning. Hey, we're talking more about the advanced OSE today. We're going to look at the character classes. We decided, hey, that would be a good thing to do, to go ahead and go a little bit further into it, because I wanted to get into that, but there was a lot to talk about before that. So we're going to take a look at the character classes, and there are quite a bit of them today. So good morning, PH. Good morning, Jason. We've got Mike here. Good morning. Robert, good morning. Thank you. I see Robert says here, I still got to write you back, Robert, on Discord. I'll be here in the office all day, so I'll get to do that. Robert says he just sent you a good PDF book by Robert Kuntz about why an RPG... what is an RPG and why it's unique? That might be something we have to look at from Three Line Studio. Also sounds like something that Better with Bacon would be interested in. So good morning, Bacon. Good morning. I think I watched all of the. I'm up to date on all of Better with Bacon's videos on RPGs and archetypes, and I noticed you dropped one on the Warhammer gods, which I haven't seen yet. But I don't know if I said this last time, but Better with Bacon put out a video about the archetypes of the GM. It's very dense, but very good. Hey, Stray. Good morning. Good morning. It is fantastic to see you. How are you doing? I hope very well. Great to see you. Hey, Robert. Okay, so Robert says, AI update, adjudicator coming along to help GPT to discern nuances of player dialogue and commands so that it doesn't spawn objects or exists or exits from merely talking. Playtest fully underway. Cool. Good morning, Joel. And good morning, Brett. Good morning. BGD. Sable. Oh, man, this is everybody's here today. I guess everybody's here for some advanced OSE. So let's see here. Oh, hey, Michael. Well, let's go ahead and breathe and snip. Breathe and breathe and sip. It's snowing where you are, Stray? Oh, okay, you got it. All right, wonderful. Okay, hey, I actually have water this morning with the canteen. So let's breathe and sip. I've been doing some things, but I don't think anything worth any type of announcement yet this morning, so I don't think we have really announcements. So let's just keep going here. We're just go straight into Advanced Fantasy and take a look. I've got water this morning in this canteen here. This stainless steel canteen. So that's what I'm drinking. So let's breathe and sip. 2 deep breaths, deep inhales, complete exhales, and then we'll take a sip of your favorite beverage this morning. So here we go. Let's breathe. And sip. All right. Oh, I did. I'll tell you one thing I went and did. For Christmas, my brother and his wife gave me I guess a gift certificate or whatever, but they went with me. They gave me a gift certificate to go and play Activate. Has anybody been to play Activate? So that was Friday. My brother and my sister-in-law took me, and we all went to play Activate. And if you haven't been there and you see something called Activate in your town or city, I guess it's like a franchise. It's a place. Go in your gym clothes. They said be ready to run, and I was thinking, okay, so like work clothes and boots and things like that. But it's actually you should go in gym clothes. They both wore their gym clothes there. You go in, and the best that I can describe is there's a whole bunch of different rooms in there. So, and each one of them is a different kind of series of games. So you buy a certain amount of time in Activate, and then you go into room by room by room by room, whichever one you want to, and play different games inside. So like one of them is the laser beams, like the Mission Impossible laser beams. You go into a room and it's got all these laser beams crossing the room, and then you and your teammates have to get across the room and then without hitting the laser beams. One of them is like playing Asteroid, you know, the old game Asteroid where you're shooting the asteroids and they break up. You're playing Asteroid, except you're actually playing that physically. You've got a whole bunch of balls in front of you, and there are all these screens with these asteroids coming at you. And you try to throw these balls and hit the asteroids, and it breaks them up. So they're all physical, active kind of games like that. One of them has a one of our favorite room, and each room has multiple games you can play. But one of them has a floor. The floor is a grid, and screens too. So tons of squares, maybe about like this, and then it'll tell you something like you stand on the green in the beginning, and it says just go touch all of or go stand on all of the green, all of the blues, and then different ones will pop up, and you have to do it in a certain amount of time. But then you have to stand on all the blues without touching the reds. Okay, and then the reds start moving. So each one of these games gets progressively more difficult as you go. Look it up. because I didn't know what it was. So I think this place has only been in Birmingham for about a year or less, actually, possibly, and I didn't know what it was. So yeah, I mean, it kind of is. It is kind of like Atari holodeck. Let's see, there was another one. There was another one where it's got, some of these are difficult to describe, I'm realizing. Tubes up high and down low, and you put a ball, and then there are several different rows of these tubes, and you put a ball into the top tube, and then it comes out the bottom tube, but that bottom tube is lit up with a certain color, and then along all the different rows, you've got the same color on the top, and then you have to put the ball into that color hole, and then it comes out another color at the bottom, and so everybody's looking for this, looking for the ball down all these different rows, and then you say, okay, it's green, and then you go and get the ball, and somebody else is looking, okay, I've got the top green up here, and you like pass the ball back and forth. It was a lot of fun. In fact, here, so if you see that, and it was a fantastic workout. Like, I'm sore from it, and I wish I were closer to it, because I have really got to get active, hence activate. And it would be so great to be able to go and do something like that, because okay, I used to walk, I need to get back to walking. I just don't I just don't when it's cold, and that I shouldn't be an excuse. But if I were closer to something like this, hey, I'll put up this. So definitely go. I mean, we had a fantastic time. We had an absolutely fantastic time. So, like, okay, here. So these guys are going in. Yeah, you scan into your, so it keeps track of your score. Yeah, there were shooting hoops. That's the one where you're trying to stand on the blue. There's a laser game where you're shooting things. There's the trying to get underneath the lasers. Okay, we didn't find the climbing wall. Jumping, climbing, dodging. So anyway, check that out. So I did do that. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, it would be so much fun to be able to go and do. Well, I don't know, because they paid for it. They paid for it because that was their by Christmas. Apparently, my sister-in-law had gone with her work. So they did like a work party there or something like that. And she went, let's get Heath that for Christmas. Let's go with him. And Seth, my brother, had never been before. So, but it was probably like $22 or something like that. Yes, exactly. Exactly. I was not dressed the way that I should have been. I was thinking running around, okay, work clothes. So anyway, I know I'm a big fan of experience-based Christmases. I didn't do an experience-based Christmas this time because I wasn't able to do it. But ordinarily, I go with a lot of experience-based Christmases because I've done escape rooms too. Like there's an escape room here, and ordinarily that's what I do. I buy people time in the escape room, and then also sometimes the laser tag. But anyway, so I guess there was an announcement. So, or if you call that an announcement, definitely go and do it. Definitely do it if you see it. And that's what it is, because I wouldn't have even known what it was when I drive by it. I just saw it activate. I would not even have known what that was, but it was so much fun. Now I've got to get my PDF back up. It was so good to do something other than just sit here. So I like living out in the country. But on the other hand, it would be nice to live someplace where it's much easier to go and do something. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at where we were. So we were at character classes, and I was thinking about this yesterday, about how this is compatible with the original. Now, we did go over the original. I noticed in the comments that, we jumped right into advanced fantasy. Well, we didn't, because we did take a look at just the original OSE, but it's been a while. It's been many episodes ago when we did that. So we had already gone over the original, and I may not have even known that there was advanced fantasy when we were looking at that. But if you go back and look up just Old School Essentials and Morning Grind, you will find the one where we looked at the original game. So now this is advanced fantasy, and it must have been designed with kind of this in mind. So I was like, okay, so how can you make this compatible? So humans, basically it's compatible because humans don't get anything other than the ability. I mean, am I right in this? Humans don't really get anything other than the ability to go up to the maximum level. If you're some kind of demi-human, you may not be able to advance all the way in certain character classes, but that won't take effect until much later. So if humans don't get anything for being human, you can just run the acrobat or run whatever as is, and that's just the human version. So it seems like that's how they do that. And then I guess they're going to modify a few things with the different classes, different races you can be. But that's pretty elegant. So I take it that most of these, in fact, let's just check that. Let's check human. Let's go to the races real fast and just see if character classes, thief, ranger, paladin, magic user, halfling. Oh no. Okay. Character races right here. Character classes. No, I didn't know this. Looking at this right here, we are still going to have cleric. So that's probably the same one from OSE. Cleric, dwarf, and elf. Those are character classes right here. I guess for the sake of completeness, it has all of them in here, which you would expect because they talk about how well this is organized. I did order the physical book yesterday or 2 days ago or something like that, so I've got the physical books incoming. So we still have we still have races as character classes, but then we got character races over here. Okay, it says optional rule. Not all races are equally suited to every character class. Each demi-human race lists the class that may be selected, as well as the maximum level to which the character in that race and class may rise. Restrictions to class and maximum level represent a race's suitability to different adventuring professions. For example, dwarves are inherently non-magical and so cannot be magic users. Halflings do not have a natural aptitude to warfare and can only advance to 6th level in the fighter class, and so on. Racial class and level limits also work as a balancing factor in the rules, offsetting the extra abilities granted by demi-human races with strict limits on class choices and level advancement. Okay, so that's how they're doing that. It says lifting class and level restrictions, optional rule. In practice, many groups do not enforce the class and level restrictions of demi-human races. For groups who wish to lift these restrictions, it's worth bearing in mind that this change will eradicate the sole advantage of the human race. Okay. It's unique access to some classes and unlimited level advancement, making humans relatively underpowered. For this reason, optional racial abilities are given for the human race. The referee should consider using these if the group wishes to eradicate the class or level limitations for demi-humans. These abilities should also be granted to human PCs who are created without using the rules for separate race and class. Okay, let's go check out what it says then for human, just so that we know. Then we'll go back to the character classes. So human, requirements none, ability modifiers none, languages, alignment, and common. Humans are renowned for the deep passion that drives them through their short lives. They have the potential to become great leaders, forging alliances between other races but they are easily corrupted. Humans do not have any special racial abilities, but they are the most flexible race, being able to select any class without advancement limits to experience level. Other classes have a limited choice of character class and strict limits on maximum level. So all classes, unlimited level. Racial abilities. If the optional rules for lifting demi-human class and level restrictions are used, it's recommended that the loss of human character's main advantage, unlimited advancement in any class, be compensated by the following abilities: +1 charisma and +1 constitution. And blessed, when rolling hit points, including at first level, the player of a human PC may roll twice and take the best result. Decisiveness, when an initiative roll is tied, humans act first as if they won initiative. If using optional rules for individual initiative, humans get a bonus of +1 to initiative rolls. And then leadership. Of all of humans' retainers, All of a human's retainers and mercenaries gain a +1 bonus to loyalty and morale. I'm just trying to think about. I don't know how. I mean, how many you're supposed to be playing in this game? Several games at level 1, right? You're in, so I wonder how many. I wonder how many games in practice you really have to play before you start to feel the level caps and level limits if you've chosen to be something else. I'll let everybody know. We'll take a look at them when they come in. So Michael says that sounds like a perfect compromise, as well as explaining as to why race limitations exist. I remember back in like AD&D. I mean, that was a big change when we went to 3rd edition, because that was much, much more permissive on different races being different classes, right? Because I remember like no magic user dwarves, no like cleric dwarves. I don't remember. I mean, humans were the paladins. But then by 3rd edition, they started getting rid of this. Tomocrat says, I love the feel of the books. I'm excited to get them. I just got the tomes, not the ones that are broken up. I may end up having to get the one that's broken up later. So that was a big change. This is, I mean, obviously, this is going back to this, but let's see how the racial classes end up fitting into all of this. So this is acrobat. So this looks like a specialist of the thief. We might get several of those based on the way that this is doing the skill system, because it seems like we talked about having the specialist and using the different thief skills and letting people specialize in different ones as they wanted. It seems to make sense then that the thief would be a character class that could have different kinds of specializations, like the acrobat. Yeah, see, Michael J. Pastor says, we never enforced racial level maxes anyway, because I don't think we ever maxed out a campaign. Yeah, so that's what I'm wondering. Because if it's a limitation that never comes up, then it's not really a limitation. It would be sort of like we were talking about GURPS or point-based games, where you can take a disadvantage and get points back, at character creation. So you're like, hey, I'll take this disadvantage rather. I don't know what hemophilia, whatever it is. Well, hemophilia, I mean, that might has the potential to come up. But anyway, take some kind of social disadvantage or something. Low social station or social stigma or something like that. And then all you do is a dungeon crawl, and you took the points from your social stigma and put it in your weapon. So, hey, you kind of basically got the free points, because that's not something that came up in the like phobia of snakes, but you live in Ireland or something like that. So you just get the points. It's kind of like that. So, okay, we played. My main disadvantage, or my main advantage, is that I can go up to any level, but we never got there anyway. My main disadvantage is that one that never mattered anyway. And the advantage is the other classes. The advantage never got to come into play either. That's the only thing that I can think about that being a disadvantage. If everybody's only playing up to level 3, then it didn't matter. So acrobat. So we said specialization of thief right here. No required prime requisite dex, hit points, hit dice D4, maximum level 14. Now I think this is maximum level here, because I think, as I recall, all of them just go up to 14. Yeah, I think all of the level progression just goes up to 14. So I think it's pretty common. It makes me wonder actually why they. Oh no, I bet that's because the racial classes are different. We will see. Armor, leather, no shields, missile weapons, dagger, short sword, polearm, spear, staff. Acrobats are trained in skills of balance, gymnastics, and stealth. They often work in conjunction with the Thieves Guild, and they belong to a Thieves Guild. Adjust ability scores. In step 3 of character creation, acrobats may not lower strength. Encumbrance, evasion, falling, jumping, and tightrope walking cannot be performed if encumbrance reduces the acrobat's movement to less than 90. Acrobat skills. Acrobats can use the following skills with a chance of success as shown opposite. So climb sheer surface. That's like a thief. Climbing, a roll is required for every 100 feet to be climbed. If that roll fails, the acrobat falls half the distance, suffering the falling damage. I was thinking about that. I was thinking, okay, how often for each 100 feet to be climbed? So does that mean I need to roll if I'm only climbing up 10 feet? Because like a 10-foot wall, I was thinking that's still an obstacle. Like, I mean, if I'm walking around and all of a sudden I encounter a 10-foot tall wall, I mean, that is stopping me from crossing that wall. Now, that's not insurmountable if you have like a ladder. I mean, if you have a ladder, I can probably get over a 10-foot wall. But if I don't have a 10-foot ladder, or some other equipment to climb it, that's a significant obstacle. So the thief could climb that without risk of dying. That was the point, So okay, you'd fall. Then if you fall, you end up falling at the 5-foot distance, and so you didn't make it the whole 10 feet. So maybe you don't even take damage, or maybe the GM gives you like a point of damage or something. Well, even a point of damage, I guess, could kill a thief, but not everything has to be a 100-foot wall. I was like, yeah, but and we're falling victim to like George R.R. Martin's, 700-foot tall wall or something like that. And if you are trying to climb a 700-foot tall wall, yes, you risk death. Stray says, I feel like if it was old school, I would get a lot less min-maxed requests at the start of the game. More mid-maxed requests at the start of the game. I'm actually thinking that I'm just going to hold my Hero Quest game with the nephews. Oh, hey, Van Davis. He was the one in the comments that was talking about the original one, and I replied that, hey, we did look at the standard box, but it's been many, many episodes ago. Good to see you. But I've decided, basically, I think I'm just going to hold the last Hero Quest game with the nephews and play with until other people can play, because they may want to. Other people in the family like to play Hero Quest, and I'm kind of chomping at the bit to move on to Dungeons and Dragons. So we'll just let other people play with us, hold out one last Hero Quest game, and I think we're going to go ahead and do D&D. So falling, though, says when you are able to tumble, acrobats suffer no damage from the first 10 feet of any fall. Damage due to falling from greater height is reduced by the listed percentage, so they wouldn't even suffer damage from a 10-foot fall. Damage due to falling from greater height is reduced by the listed percentage, rounding fractions down. So down here, falling, so here is our reduction in fall height right over here. That's a pretty good one. They also have hide in shadows. They have move silently, and they have tightrope walking. Acrobats can walk between tight ropes, narrow beams, and ledges at up to half their normal movement rate. A roll is required every 60 feet. Failure indicates the acrobat falls and suffers falling damage. Windy conditions may reduce the chance of success by up to 20%. Holding a balance pole increases the chance of success by 10%. Acrobats cannot wear armor bulkier than leather and cannot use shields. They are able to use all missile weapons. Their use of melee weapons is restricted to light blades and staff weapons. When retreating from melee, an acrobat's ability to tumble negates the opponent's usual +2 to hit. Jumping with a 20-foot run, an acrobat can jump across a 10-foot wide pit or chasm, 20-foot wide when aided by the use of a pole. Also, when using a pole, an acrobat can jump over a 10-foot high wall or onto a 10-foot high ledge. Suitable poles for jumping include 10-foot poles, pole arms, spears, and staves. Tumbling attack. Using the falling or jumping abilities, an acrobat can make a tumbling melee attack. The attack inflicts double damage if successful. Against an unaware opponent, the acrobat also gains +4 to hit. Using the falling or jumping abilities. Oh, I guess if you're in a situation where you can fall on them or jump up to get them. This one could be a fun one to play. I mean, Thief Specialist. But hey, listen. I hope everyone has Diana in mind while we read this. my plan was to do Advanced Dungeons and Dragons because I've got my plan was to take them through this right here first. I've got several of my favorite AD&D adventures, but this is the the introduction to advanced D&D, and it does have the CD in it. Now I won't be able to play a CD because who has a CD player anymore? But I'm hoping that I can find the audio someplace online or something and get it hooked up so that I can play the audio for them. So I was kind of thinking Advanced Dungeons and Dragons intro here. And it does have okay, and I've already painted the characters too. Guess I was doing that when I was doing Dragon Strike. And it does have pre-generated characters. So I was thinking about just going with the pre-generated characters here. So I'm not going to take them through character generation, but they've got nice, colorful pre-generated characters. So, on the other hand, I might, just be using this old school essentials behind the scenes. Hey, Zoe, welcome. It is. There's a reason for them to be carrying around the 10-foot pole, and also for them to be using like spears. So it must be pretty common for them to actually use a spear or a staff. What year is you're talking about this box over here? We did go through this box. We did take a look at this box on the morning grind. So if you want to see this, we did go completely through this box. And I remember this box actually spawned a conversation on Thaco because this book, the intro guide to D&D, has one of the weirdest explanations of Thaco that I have ever seen. What year is this? 1995. We played this one as a kid. Or older kids. But I played that one when I was young. The D&D solved the pole issue for the acrobat by making it. They solved the pole issue by making it summonable and dismissible. But that's not exactly an expression of codified rules. It seems like for that kind of thing, carrying around a spear with them would, and also thematic. So I don't know. That's a pretty cool character. So at 9th level, you can establish a training school, attracting 2d6 apprentices of 1st level. The apprentices will serve the character with some reliability. However, should any of them be arrested or killed, the character will not be able to attract apprentices or replace them. A successful acrobat burglar might use the following followers to start a thieves guild. So then we go to assassin here. If the module is from 1st edition advanced and not 2nd edition, you don't even have a lot of modification to do from the BX old school essentials. They're pretty much the same. So this is that is 2nd edition, because that's the edition that I started with, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons 2nd edition. Now I didn't start with that box. We got that box later. But okay, so assassin, we've got another type of like thief specialist here. So requirements none, dex D4, 14, leather, shields, weapons any, languages, alignment, and common. Assassins are adventurers who specialize in the art of infiltration and killing by stealth. They sometimes form guilds whereby their illicit services may be hired. Alignment. Assassins may not be lawful. Adjustability scores. In step 3 character creation, assassins may not lower strength. So here are your assassin skills. Assassins can use the following skills with the chance of success as shown opposite. Assassination, AS. When attacking an unaware humanoid from behind, an assassin gets +4 bonus to hit. If the attack succeeds, the victim must save versus death with a penalty dependent upon the assassin's level, noted in the table opposite. If the save fails, the victim is instantly killed. Otherwise, the assassin's assassin's attack inflicts normal damage. How do we feel about that? So let's take a look at that. So assassination, and then over here, assassin's skills chance of success. So here is your assassination. So at level 4, the character starts to get -1 to the save versus death. Then you go all the way down to -6 at 14. And it says, who can be assassinated? Humans and demi-humans of any level and humanoid monsters of up to 4+1 HD. Non-living creatures are immune. Oh, okay. I have not. I will look that up. That does sound like fun. Okay. So how do we feel about this assassin skill? I can see that being like an anathema in certain role-playing games, but I don't know if there was some kind of equivalent to this in Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. There might have been. But being that the game is lethal anyway, that doesn't sound all that bad. That sounds bad, I think, with certain modern assumptions. Like, oh my God, the assassin can automatically kill someone. Well, save versus death is there, and we don't often see player character stuff with save versus death. We might in spells, maybe, but we haven't seen them in character abilities. You get a +4 bonus to hit. You know, jumping out with you can use any type of weapon. So, okay, jumping out with some type of short sword or something. The short sword can kill people anyway. I don't think I have a problem with this because of the way the whole rest of the game is structured. I mean, a short sword that's D6 damage or whatever. I mean, that can kill a lot of players anyway, even without this special ability. So, and then this one says, well, hey, can't I leap out from behind something and drive a dagger into somebody's neck or something and kill them? Well, yeah, you can. So this handles that. The game then would need to be about the infiltration. I mean, mainly, we're going to have this roll here. I got to go assassinate somebody. So the game has to be about the infiltration and hiding. And then you get the opportunity, and then you make this attack. Titterpig says, I like class-based damaged abilities. I have been thinking a lot more about the damage by class. I'm starting to like that more and more. Climb sheer surfaces. A roll is required for each 100 feet to be climbed. Okay, so climb skill. Hear noise in quiet environments, not in combat. An assassin may attempt to listen at a door or listen at a door to hear the sound of something, like a wandering monster approaching. Hide in shadows. Requires the assassin to be motionless. Attacking or moving while hiding is not possible. Move silently as well. Combat. Assassins cannot wear armor bulkier than leather, but may use shields. We also have disguise. Characters of any class may don disguises. So here is also differentiating what anybody can do from this class. But assassins are masters of the art, able to create disguises that pass even close scrutiny. Chance of success. Everyone the assassin meets has a 2% chance of spotting the disguise. This roll is repeated once every subsequent day of meeting. Posing as another class, race, or sex increases the chance of being detected by 2% per change. Height and weight. A disguise may alter height up to 2 inches shorter or 5 inches taller, or weight. Slightly thinner, much bulkier. Hirelings. Weapons are generally always dangerous, but also situational. A dagger in the broom closet is far more dangerous than a spear. For example, it just requires you to know how to use it in a broom closet, as in not being stored in the broom closet, but a dagger if you're trying to fight in a broom closet. But the knowing how to use it, for example, seems to be accounted for by the damage by class pretty well. Michael says that's almost verbatim from the old rules for disguising, I swear. Well, it probably is. Victims of poisoning by an assassin suffer -2 penalties to saving throws. After reaching 12th level, we skipped over hirelings. So assassins of 1st to 3rd level may not employ retainers, mercenaries, or specialists. From 4th level, an assassin may hire any other assassin of a lower level. From 8th level, an assassin may hire thieves, and from 12th level, any type of character. It's an interesting kind of restriction. An assassin hiring an assassin, that's kind of like the Star Wars thing, right? Which one was that, where the assassin hires the assassin? After reaching 12th level, an assassin may attempt to take over an existing guild of assassins or thieves by killing the old guild master. This may be achieved by any means, for example, poisoning, assassination, duel. If successful, the character can maintain a guild of 7 D4 members. 75% of the existing members will leave, but new members, typically first-level assassins, will arrive over time. All of our saving throws. All right, Barbarian. PH says, in mazes, each class rolls only one type of die. The Titterpig Rancher says, exactly. Again, 13th Age has class-based damage regardless of your weapon you choose. You're presumed to know how to use it to full advantage. But, you know, if you want to get more complicated, you can also do, and I think I said this on a blog or something, the different types of damage, damage by class, by type of weapon. So that would allow you to say that, yes, the two-handed swords are going to do more damage in anybody's hand, but they're so, you know, you can say one-handed weapons, or like, you know, the improvised weapon or something like that, and have a little bit of variety of different dice you roll depending on the type of weapon, but they're all going to be better. The fighter is going to have the better line of all the different damage dice. So Better with Bacon says, OSE prides itself on being a language update to the old basic expert stuff. It wouldn't be a surprise if some of the sections were just lifted as is. Yeah, and I know you're a fan of that. You were talking about damage by class early on. And I was like, I don't know about that. But actually, I think it's a great solution. I think class-based damage is a very interesting solution to homogenization. But then also give, you know, weapons different ranges, different tags that do the different things. So why would you choose one or another? Well, okay, you know, that if you have different damage dice for different types of weapons, that still gives you, okay, I'm going to take the sword and the shield over the two-handed sword, so I have extra defense or all of that. But then also, even, you know, even if your weapon, even if your weapons only do D4, this weapon does D4, this weapon does D4, but they may have different characteristics of the weapon that would choose. Damage by type of weapon and class matrix was exactly what I was thinking. Yeah. And I wouldn't, yeah, I think I would simplify that to something like small for daggers and knives, and then one-handed, you know, two-handed, something like that. Not try to do it for every type of weapon. Only so many dice anyway. Okay, so barbarians, minimum dex requirements, minimum dex 19. Because this is, okay, so like agile fighting. So like, why is it minimum dex? But like I see down here, agile fighting. So this is supposed to be an agile kind of barbarian. Requirements, minimum dex 9. And I guess that's to make up for their armor situation. Prime requisites, con and strength. That makes sense. Hit die D8. Now it's not D10. They didn't go up to, no. Well, I think fighter here is D8, right? So they didn't go up to D10. Maximum level 14, leather, chainmail shields, weapon, any, alignment common. Barbarians are tribal warriors from wild lands. They are formidable fighters with many useful survival skills, but have a deep mistrust of the arcane. Prime requisites, 13 for the bonus experience points. A first level barbarian cannot read or write irrespective of intelligence score. See, agile fighting. Upon reaching 4th level, a barbarian gains a +1 AC bonus. This increases to +2 at 6th level, +3 at 8th level, and +4 at 10th level. See, barbarian skills. The skill system comes in again with something like this. Well, I think we just saw like the thief was D4. Like we were just mainly on D4, right? Barbarian skills. In the wilderness, barbarians can use the following skills with a chance of success. Climb sheer surfaces, hide in undergrowth. Requires a barbarian to be motionless. Attacking or moving while hiding is not possible. Move silently. Okay, so 3. Climb sheer surfaces, hide in that's you guys were saying that's like a Conan thing, right? These are probably Conan-like skills. Barbarians can use all types of weapons, but can use leather armor, chainmail, and shields. Stray says, I want a few pages on how much each material component costs. I have players that ask these things, like spell components. In the wilderness, a barbarian can gather herbs to concoct an antidote to natural poisons. This takes 1 turn per character to be cured. Each subject may make a second save versus poison to end the effects. Fear of magic. Barbarians are mistrustful of magic and will refuse to knowingly use or come under the influence of spells or magic items. Barbarians will accept divine magic associated with their tribal religion. So that's a pretty big limitation right there. So this is another reason this guy is not going to be using magic swords, right? That seems to be the purview of the fighter. So the barbarian is not going to be using magic armor or weapons, so that's a pretty big limit. Foraging and hunting. A party with a barbarian succeeds at foraging in a 2 in 6 chance and finds prey when hunting at a 5 in 6 chance. See, maybe you could move that over to like a survival or an outdoorsmanship skill. Strike invulnerable monsters. A barbarian of 4th level is able to hit monsters that can normally only be harmed by magic. Okay, so that makes up for, okay, what does the barbarian do when all of a sudden, we got a magical creature here? Because they can't use those magical weapons. So they make up for that by saying a barbarian of 4th level or higher is able to hit monsters that can normally only be harmed by magic. After reaching 8th level, a barbarian can call upon their native people to form a great horde of warriors, numbering 250 per level above 7th. The warriors are 1st level fighters with basic combat gear and may be mounted if customary in their culture. A horde can only be mustered for a specific purpose, for example, attacking an enemy city, rescuing hostages, etc. Once the purpose is achieved or abandoned, the horde disbands. Mustering a horde takes about a week and remains for 1 week per level of the barbarian. Oh, so rather than having the barbarian establish something, become the baron like the fighter does, he gets to assemble the horde. It is awesome because it's not equipment. It doesn't depend on equipment anymore. So you're not going to get the bonuses of magic swords and things like that. But just being able to hit magically invulnerable monsters is huge. So that's interesting. So that's the first one we've seen like that, right? So assemble the horde. So I guess it's forcing this character to be a loner. So this character is not settling down like I see with the other ones, but they can assemble the horde. Oh, here is Bard. Okay, Bard is D6 hit dice. Leather, chainmail, no shields. Missile weapons, one-handed melee weapons, alignment common. Bards are members of a sect of minstrels and warrior poets associated with the Druids. Like Druids, bards worship the force of nature and the myriad of deities that personify it. Their strength lie in their deep knowledge of myth and legend, and the magic they wield on behalf of their gods and enchanting power of their music. While the bard plays, this is anti-charm. While the bard plays music and sings, Allies within 30 feet are immune to song-based magical effects and the beguiling powers of sylvan creatures or fairies. Allies already under the effect of such magic may make another saving throw with +4 bonus. They can wear leather armor or chainmail, but do not have the training required to use plate mail or shields. They can use all missile weapons and all one-handed melee weapons. Divine magic. Deity's disfavor. Bards must be faithful to the tenets of their alignment and religion. Bards who fall from favor with their deity may incur penalties. Spellcasting. Once a bard has proven their faith from 2nd level, the character may pray to receive spells. The power and number of spells available to a bard are determined by experience level. The list of spells available to bards is found on page 117. As spellcasters, they may use magic scrolls of spells on their spell list. They may also use any items that only druids can use. I like this interpretation of the bard. This is like, I think you could use this as kind of like a Celtic inspired druid here, rather than the foppish AD&D druid, foppish AD&D bard. Hey, good morning, Access. I think I do remember that too. Yeah, they're okay. So yeah, they're completely embracing the Celtic theme. So I think this is done well. I think this is done well. I like this bard. By playing music and singing, the bard can fascinate subjects in a 30-foot area. This ability does not function in combat. Okay, that's interesting. So this is out of combat when everybody's back at the tavern or the King's Hall. Up to 2 HD of creatures per level of the bard are affected. The bard may choose to target a specific individual or group, in which case the affected individuals are determined randomly. Types of subjects. At 1st level, the bard can fascinate persons. At 4th level, animals can also be affected. At 7th level, monsters may be affected. Effect. Each subject must save versus spells or be fascinated as follows. Rapt. Fascinated subject's attention is fully bent on the bard's performance as long as it continues. Or follow. The bard may walk while playing. Fascinated subjects will follow. Interruptions. If the performance is interrupted by a loud noise or violence, the fascination ends immediately. Charming fascinated subjects. If the bard performs at least one turn and the performance ends without interruption, fascinated subjects may be placed under a deeper charm. Each subject must make a saving throw versus spell with +2 bonus or be charmed for 1 turn per level of the bard. Friendship. Treat as trusted friend and ally. Commands. If they share a language, charmed subjects will obey the bard's command. So they get all of these. Must make another saving throw or be charmed for 1 turn per level of the bard. Commands that contradict the charmed creature's nature and alignment may be ignored. Suicidal commands. Charmed subjects never obey suicidal or obviously harmful orders. Bards learn new languages as they advance in level. At every even-numbered level above 3rd, the player may choose an additional language. Bards may learn the secret tongue of the druid in this way. Lore. I'm heavier than I have been in a while. That's actually a problem. Really? Well, thank you. The last thing a bard nowadays needs to do for the spells is pray. The last thing a bard nowadays needs to do for spells is pray. Yeah, they're more arcane, right? Yeah, I do like this one. They emphasize the warrior, poet, and minstrel aspects in the text color. So lore, from 2nd level, a bard has a 2 in 1 chance of knowing lore pertaining to monsters, magic items, or heroes of folktale or legend. This ability may be used to identify the nature and powers of magic items. After 11th level, you can establish a manor. 2d6 apprentice bards of 1st level will come to study under the character. Van Davis says, Heath says, if you remain interested in this system, I suggest you check out the PDFs for their Carcass Crawler zine. Each one has a couple of additional player class race options. I have looked at a couple of them. I looked up the first Carcass Crawler because I heard that it had the skill system for the thief in there. So I think we did when we looked at the thief debate the other day. We looked at the first Carcass Crawler. There may have been a reason for us to look at the second one too. But actually in there, I saw, we might have to look at this sometime. I looked in there and I saw the mage, which is obviously doing Gandalf. If you read it, you're obviously doing Gandalf. So I really liked that one too. That one was real well done. So it's a wizard, the wizard character that is like Gandalf. He can use swords because obviously Gandalf has Glamdring, and he can use staves, which makes sense. So the Gandalf can have his staff and his sword, and then they adjusted the kind of magic powers and magic. I liked that interpretation as well. Access Innerlight says, I've been working with ChatGPT-4 to make a new adult tabletop RPG, Warriors and Warlocks. I wanted something that captured the themes and visual impacts of the original Sword and Sorcery. And it's letting you do adult material? Okay, so Cleric, I bet this is probably the same Cleric that we've looked at before. We've got Undead, yeah, so this is our hybrid class, Magic User and Warrior who's like anti-undead. And we talked about what the right name for something like that would be. And doing some type of priest that is more intellectual. Okay, so Drow. So I take it you can't. So this is, again, this is, okay, so this is race as class. If I come down, okay, so if I go to, now I'm in the, no, that's half elf, but that's still half elf as a class. Where do I go to? Okay, so here's half orc. No, that's still half orc as class. Okay, so for instance, gnome. So this is a class. This is a race here. Minimum con 9, maximum int, minimum int of 9. Minimum con 9, minimum int 9. This says that available classes in max level: assassin 6th level, cleric 7th level. At the referee's option, gnomish clerics may only exist as NPCs. Fighter 6th level, illusionist 7th level, and thief 8th level. Oh, they've got actually a lot of different powers over here. Wait, here's half elf. Here's half elf as class. No, half elf as race, rather. So available classes in max level: acrobat 12th, assassin 11th, bard 12th, cleric 5th, druid 12th, fighter 8th, knight 12th, magic user 8th. So it seems like because we do have, okay, we have drow over here, drow as character class, and then we have drow over here as character race. Did I miss an explanation of that? Exactly what was going on here? Maybe we missed something in creating a character. Because it surprises me that we've got both. And now, what that might be like is like the paradigm. Paragon, like what they used to call in 3rd edition, like a paragon, which I kind of liked. So drow, even though I wasn't that big into prestige classes. So this drow right here, this is drow as character class. No, can only go up to 10th level. I was going to say, now can like the paragon go up to 14th level, but he can't. It goes up to 10th level. Drow are considered a separate race. Okay, so you can play drow as race. But it doesn't actually, does it say someplace? I mean, it seems obvious that you can't be a gnomish drow. like you can't add gnome to this. I was just kind of looking for it to tell me that. Okay, so classic. So let's say Paragon Drow. Drow also know. Okay, they've minimum. Is that where we were? Yeah, cleric. Okay, Drow. Minimum intelligence 9, strength and wisdom prime requisite, hit dice d6, maximum level 10, armor any including shields, weapons any. Okay, here's our languages. Drow, also known as dark elves, are slender fey demi-humans with pointy ears, skin as black as the night sky, and hair of silver and white. They have extremely long lifespans, being nigh immortal. Drow dwell exclusively underground, carving great cities of stone and crystal. They are related to the elves of the surface world and share their love of nature and magic. Drow typically weigh about 120 pounds and are from 5 to 5.5 feet tall. Okay, let's go down here. All types of weapons armor. They have detect secret doors 2 and 6. A drow must carry a holy symbol. Drow must be faithful to the tenets of their alignment, clergy, and religion. Drow who fall from favor and with their deity may incur penalties. Magical research. A drow of any level may spend time and money on magical research. This allows them to create new spells or other magical effects associated with their deity. On reaching 9th level, drow can also create magic items. Spell casting. A drow may pray to receive spells from their deity. The power and number of spells available to a drow are determined by the character's experience. At 1st level, a drow may only pray for the light/darkness spell, because that's reversible. But from 2nd level, the character may pray for any spell on the spell list. Drow are also able to pray for a magic user web spell from 3rd level. What's the link? Oh, let me put the link for the Discord server down here. Discord. Ravenkeep Discord server. Right there. Van Davis says you either play race as class or you can pick your race and then pick the class you want. It's assumed if you're choosing to pick a race and a class, you're ignoring the race as class options. Yeah, that seems to make sense. I just didn't write right, so you can't do that. I was just looking for that to be explicit. Because it surprised me when all of a sudden they were in both places. But it makes sense. It makes sense, especially if the original and this are completely cross-compatible. That, hey, I want to play the drow. Okay, well, then here you go. Here's the drow as race, kind of like the paragon level, the paragon of the drow. Veins of the Earth has the scariest take on drow I've ever seen. That one comes up so often, we might have to look at it. Immunity to ghoul paralysis. The drow are completely unaffected by the paralysis ghouls can afflict. Infravision. When in bright daylight, continual light, drow suffer -2 attack penalties and a -1 to armor class. They can listen at doors. They have spider affinity. Drow live alongside many different species of spiders, including giant spiders. They can speak the secret language of spiders and gain +1 bonus to reaction rolls when encountering spiders. They establish a subterranean stronghold or temple. If the drow is in favor of their deity, the complex may be bought or built at half the normal price due to the direct intervention of the deity. You attract 5d6 times 10 non-spell casting drow of 1st or 2nd level. These troops are completely devoted to the drow, never checking morale. The referee decides how many of their followers are 1st and 2nd level, archers, infantry, etc. 1st or 2nd level. Let's take a look at the druid and see if he is as cool as the bard is. How do they go with this? The druid. Leather, wooden shields, club, dagger, sling, spear, staff. Druids are priests of nature, protecting wild lands from the encroachment of civilized law and the corrupting touch of chaos. They worship the force of nature itself, personified in the form of various nature deities. Alignment. Druids regard the ways of the natural world as the ideal state of things. They see the concepts of law and chaos as extremes that must both be equally against nature. Druids are therefore neutral. Druids of 7th level and above are immune to the charms of fairies and sylvan creatures. Combat. The holy doctrine of the Druids stipulates that they must not use metal armor or shields. Wooden shields may be purchased at the normal price. Their choice of weapons is limited to clubs, daggers, slings, spears, and staves. Okay, divine magic. You must carry your holy symbol, a sprig of mistletoe, which the character must harvest. Okay, must remain in favor of your gods. A druid of any level can spend time and money on magical research. This allows them to create new spells or other magical effects associated with their deity. I take it you're supposed to actually be doing that quite a bit, because that's part of what treasure does, right? But we got this spell list, but the spell list may not be completely extensive, right? But that characters, it seems like magical characters are supposed to be inventing their own magical effects. When a character reaches 9th level, they're also able to create magic items. Pray to receive spells from nature. As spellcaster, druids can use the magic scrolls of spells in their spell list. They can also use items used by divine spellcasters, like some staves. They may not use magical books or tomes. Druids gain +2 bonus to saving throws against electricity, lightning, and fire. Druids can identify all plants and animals and can discern pure water. They speak a secret tongue not only to their sect. At each level above 2nd, a druid learns to speak a language used by creatures of Sylvan Forest. At each level above 2nd, they speak a language used by creatures of Sylvan Forests. From 3rd level, a druid can pass through natural environments without leaving any tracks. The character is able to move through overgrown areas at normal speed and without impediment. Actually, using the bard it seems like the bard is kind of a druid-like character would be fun. The mistletoe harvest is straight out of Classic. Pathfinding. A party with a druid has only a 1 in 6 chance of getting lost in the woodlands. That's probably very powerful, right? So that's of course it only occurs in woodlands. We're not differentiating the druids by the different types of nature, areas of nature, but still, that seems like it's pretty powerful. Oh, it does get shape change. At 7th level, the druid gains the power to change in the form of a reptile, bird, or mammal once per day each. The animal may be any size up to around twice the bulk of the druid's normal form. If a druid has lost hit points, they regain 1d4 hit points per level upon changing into an animal. All equipment carried by the druid is absorbed into the animal form and reappears when the druid changes back. There can only be 9 druids of 12th level. When a druid has enough experience to reach 12th level, they must challenge an existing 12th level druid. The character only advances to 12th level if the other druid is defeated. Such challenges may take any form that is agreed upon by both parties, including combat, which need not be fatal. Likewise, there will be 3 druids of 13th level and a single druid known as the Archdruid of 14th level. Druids who obtain 12th level or above may build a stronghold integrated into a natural setting. Oh, 2-page spread here. This knight fighting this Death Knight. Okay, see you later, PH. I think we're about to have to go here, too. I've got things I've got to do today. There's a lot in this book to talk about and to like. So now we are at the Duergar. Yeah, and I remember that, too. I remember the druids fighting each other in the different circles. And, the druids being real hierarchical. I remember that from 2nd edition. Well, okay. All right. Well, lots to do. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with me today. I guess we will be back here. I am not sure about Tuesday, but we'll be back here Wednesday. I am going to get my kerosene here and get all comfy here and try to write and do stuff for the next maybe 2 days or something. So if it's cold where you are, snowing or whatever, stay warm. Go forth, be creative, be constructive, and I will see you later, everybody.